Orientation to Graduation. Stories and Advice from a Real College Student by Austin Helm. I'll tell you what, this has been an interesting one. I read this a little bit ago. But funny story about the author, the guy actually came from my high school. Apparently he graduated, and he came by one day, and he was like, "Hey guys, check out this book," and he was like, "Here's my story, fun stuff, real entrepreneur guy, he likes what he does." So he's like, "Hey, I wrote this book," and you know, went out and got my hands on it. It was pretty interesting. It was junior summer to senior year, so college stuff kind of matters. It matters, it matters, right? So he's talking in the book a lot about kind of his experience. That's what most of it is kind of just he's going through what he did, how he did it, and kind of how he felt. He went to Chapel Hill in North Carolina, so good university, awesome place, and he talks about his transition kind of into adulthood too, since it's just kind of an important part of your life, in college. So it was really interesting because there was stories about school, the whole orientation to graduation thing. But then there were also stories, personal things, and how he developed through some stuff. We'll talk about in just a sec. I really like the book because it's kind of like, you got something coming up, and then you go and you look around, you do all your shopping for it, and then I don't know, at least something I would do is you look up, reviews of it, and how people went through the process, maybe how someone opens a product or something, right? And it's kind of the same thing. It's like, here's the story of how you go from high school, college, and then onward. And he talks about a lot of entrepreneurial stuff, which kind of really appeals to me, just with all the stuff. It's really cool stuff, and he's really going and doing it. So I liked how he came off as authentic, and it was really clear. He just went through it, very personal, especially with a lot of the examples he does. There are two scenes that really stood out to me, and one of them was short. It was just he, it was kind of like a mid-college crisis. He went to bars. I think it was like he kind of says it like it was a really big crisis, and he was just drinking and drinking, and then he talks about how he overcame that, and I think that's something, alcohol, all that stuff, very applicable to kids just getting into college, especially ones that haven't drank before. Makes total sense, and it was a really interesting story that's applicable to newfound college kids. And then kind of the greater one, back with Think and Grow Rich in the other video, is he talks about goals and how he looked at goals in college and how he progressed towards the goals, how he shared goals, a lot about self-development with seeing where he wanted to be in the future. And it's something that you can really, use in your own stuff, right? And it was really cool because it kind of went with the overall, if you believe in it, here's how you do it, you got it, right? So he kind of went through the basics. Not the, it was like his experience with like financial aid, classes, all the college stuff. And it was like, here's just a framework. Here's what you can expect, and then how to build your goals around that so that you can succeed and excel by knowing exactly where you want to be and then taking the necessary steps to get there. So it was really personal, but then at the same time, he's talking about how to apply it to yourself through goals and, newfound experience, a lot of really good things in it. I think the book, it was interesting in how personal it was, which I think makes it special. It's probably something I'd recommend a little bit after you get through the basics, Think and Grow Rich, fundamental goal setting. Um, and then into it, if you're, in high school, it's like got a pretty specific target demographic of kids going into college. And I feel like it can help really if you're worried about it or you want help getting into it. It's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, the book kind of sells itself. College life written by a college student. So for anyone that really wants to learn in advance, what to do, what to think, how to prepare for that stuff, it's what I'd recommend it for. I'll have a link below as always. Cool guy, Austin Helm. I like him. Fun stuff. All right. Thank you guys. Have fun.